ChannelCon 2025. This is GTIA's first official event since separating from CompTIA. Dan Wensley, the new CEO, and his team did an incredible job. It's the first event, ChannelCon, that I've ever been to. As an MSP, we didn't join CompTIA. Some great things happening there, really well attended, lots of energy, lots of great news, and great time, of course, for the podcast. Started out with Michael Chester from Valmail. Great conversation with Mike, culture, curry, and cybersecurity. A fascinating background. Really enjoyed talking with Mike. Matthias Zoomer was next. I really, Matthias got a great story, great interests, steakhouse, grit to cyber. Really great conversation. I got to spend more time with Matthias as well. Really entertaining, really fascinating and smart. He was a smart man. Chris Loehr, of course, from Solis. Really great. We talked on the virtually before. It was great seeing him there. We had a great conversation from soccer fields to cyber Frontlines. Robin Robbins, a titan in our industry for a very long time, recently announced the Kaseya acquisition. We talked, I say, from grit to growth, but we had a really long conversation, a great conversation. I've talked to her kind of in passing over the last 20, 25 years, but it's the first time we actually had a long conversation, and she reveals a lot. Fascinating backstory. I didn't know many things about her. Thank her for the time. Really enjoyed that conversation. Ryan Walsh from PAX 8. Of course, the big PAX 8 Beyond event was recently, and known Ryan from a distance for a while. We talked just kind of here and there, but a great conversation with Ryan. Leadership, discipline. His father's an NBA coach. X's and O's. Fascinating. Pete Bussum. I've known Pete for, my goodness, 20 years. Former MSP, former Navy's veteran. What he does now to help the veterans in a nonprofit. Really exciting. Really generous. Sales and marketing is what he does. He helped our MSP do it years ago. He does it now, much more automated, AI influenced. Pete Bussum from Equilibrium. Mike Sanka, Movilla, the CEO. Great conversation. Kiteboarding. Didn't know anything about it. But how he got into project management. What's the probability of the sun not coming up tomorrow? Nadav Shanker. Great conversation with Nadav. Smart man, family man, has had Vercom for, oh my goodness, I think it's like 30 years. Great conversation from scuba to securing email is the name of the title. I really enjoyed talking to Nadav. Scott Barlow. I've known Scott for, oh my goodness, since the Reflection days, so at least 15 years. First time, we had a conversation like this. He was fantastic. He knows what he's doing. He's my favorite geologist. I did not know he had a degree in geology. We take that right into Sophos, right into security. Great conversation with Scott. Thank him for that. Vicky Bruns, my goodness. I've known Vicky for a long time as well. Smart, engaging, rides horses. And for a long time, and I open with that and how it can help us about learning about how MSPs grow. Great conversation with Andreas Ambul. Great talking to Andreas at Net3. They're doing great things there in private cloud. We talked about football and baseball, kind of the upbringings, how team sport helps in helping teams and helping companies. Great conversation with Andreas. Stan, even off. The first time meeting Stan, of course, I know his partner or our CEO, Anoop. They're at ThreatMate. They're doing incredible things with penetration, with pen tests, and automating them. And really great conversation. But we opened up with guitars. He likes guitars. He likes music, and we just go right from guitar riffs to red teams. And we ended it with Kessie Jepson. I've known Kessie for 5-6 years now. They're at Lenovo. Fascinating woman. She has a big farm, although she never was raised in a farm, but she has one now, makes her own items that she sells at farmers markets. We talk about that and talk about what Lenovo is doing now to help MSPs. Great 3 or 4 days there in Nashville at ChannelCon. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because I was working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others. You said that you used to play midfield in soccer.
I did.
And now, and so you're right-handed. So
I'm
you play on the right side?
Yeah, no, but I could use both my feet.
Could you really?
Yeah, I mean, my right leg was always stronger, but I
shoot and pass with both
feet. I
feet.
could distribute the ball with left foot. Yeah, not a problem. And it's pretty good. And all my kids play, so it's
I see. Do you follow a club?
I do. Yeah, well, my club's Liverpool. Yeah, that's my club. I'm the only one in my family, though. I have one son, he's a Man City guy, and the other guy's a Real Madrid guy. So.
Yeah, I'm a City guy, too. But right. Liverpool had it's so tragic what happened to that. Oh, my God, he died in a car accident, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's his name? It was just slipping me.
It was,
that Draco.
No, it's, you make me look it up now.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. He's a starter.
No, and it was a medical reason why he drove.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had some surgery, and the doctor didn't want him to fly. Yeah, the doctor didn't want him to fly.
Whoa!
So that's why he and his brother got in a Lambo, and they just drove. They were driving over there, and of course, the initial reports were that he wasn't going over the speed, but the post crash, they said, yeah, he was definitely
unbelievable
speeding, and so he just lost control, and that was it. He'd just been married. So, yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Tragic.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So why do you keep playing now? Aren't you afraid you're going to get hurt?
Man, I've been hurt enough times there. It doesn't matter at this point. I get hurt less now. So.
Do you really?
Yeah.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza Dash platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. I mean, if I get hurt and I can't play golf, I'm going to be real pissed, man. That's why I don't do it.
Well, I had meniscus surgery a few months ago. Well, it's probably about 6 months, and a lot of it had to do with prior injuries. So I knew I tore my MCL when I was like 20-something playing indoor. And I remember that. I didn't have to have surgery on it. And then I just started having some pain running, and figured out I went in there, and my meniscus was torn, but there's a bunch of scar tissue from that MCL injury, plus found out I had no idea that I must have torn my ACL during that time too.
Jesus.
So they cleaned all that stuff up. And its weirdest thing is like rehabbing, the one thing I had a problem with was shooting the ball off the ground. It was weird. My leg
when it's stationary?
Yeah, just anything off whether it's rolling or stationary.
Really?
It's just weird. It just felt weird to kick it. But volleying, I could volley like better than ever.
Whoa.
It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, because the first time I got out there, I was with a buddy of mine. We're just horsing around out there while our kids were practicing, training. And I was like, man, this just feels weird. I just I couldn't.
Could you put your knee over the ball, maybe?
Yeah, no, I just couldn't even lift the ball. I mean, I can't even. It's like the whole leg just didn't. It's almost like it didn't even know how to kick a ball.
Jesus.
It's the best way, but the ball was in the air. It was automatic.
Wow,
that's crazy. So
wow. And you say you coached your kids?
I coached two of them when they were younger, but not anymore. They're both in competitive soccer. My oldest plays D1 soccer for Stephen F. Austin.
Whoa.
And then I have a son. He soccer got into field goal kicking.
Wow.
There's actually more opportunities as a boy to be a kicker in college than there is for soccer.
Isn't that
Believe
interesting?
Believe it or not, yeah. So, but he took up soccer and then he took up kicking. So he's going to be a field goal kicker this year. Yeah.
Wow.
Then I got a goalkeeper, and then I got my twins. They one's left-footed, one's right-footed, so they play in the back, left and right, respectively. Yeah.
Is the goalkeeper the City fan?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he's a City fan. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long history of great keepers on that.
Yeah. He follows him closely too.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah. It's
been a tough season.
He's critical. He's picking apart Pep's stuff.
All is inside. Yeah. And so you just, as a kid, you love soccer.
Well, it's kind of interesting. So my dad got me into soccer. He never played, but he was just like, I was interested in soccer, so he got me into soccer. I broke my leg just playing football in my front yard one time.
Jesus.
So at that point, my mom banned me from football. I was like when I was 5 years old. So soccer was really the choice.
Wow.
So after that, I played soccer. Soccer.
Yeah, I love it. I stopped playing. I coached my girls. They stopped playing eventually, but yeah, now I watch it and I can't get enough of it. Especially at the. Yeah. I say I'm a City fan, but I'll watch any English Premier League game. I just like that high level of soccer.
Oh yeah, I
and
agree.
So next year for the World Cup, so Texas is going to have Dallas and Houston. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still a hike for you from San Antonio, isn't it?
It's not bad. Houston's about 2.5.
That's not
Dallas
bad.
is about 4. It's not too bad.
It's not bad at all. Yeah, I'm in Tampa, so is Miami getting one? I think Miami's. I think Miami. Yeah. Not where Messi plays, because that's a small.
Too small.
Yeah. Where the Dolphins play.
Yeah, I did go to the last World Cup that was here. I did go to the games
Me
in
too.
Dallas.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's Cotton Bowl.
94.
That's 94.
Yeah. I was in the Northeast then. I went to Boston, New York, and Philly. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's everybody's talking about the heat and stuff, but they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. It's hot everywhere in the summer, you know?
I know, it is.
I just don't know what the United States team is all, man. Guess we'll see.
Well, yeah, it's tough because a lot of those guys weren't on the pitch there in the summer, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we're here at I keep on saying CompTIA, but we're here at the GTIA ChannelCon this week here in Nashville. What are some of your goals this week, Chris?
My goals, this event is one of the best way I could characterize this event. It's just a great networking event. I think it's one of those few events where you have, people they could be owners, they could be CEOs, they could be security people. It doesn't matter. They're all here. They're not tied. It's not like you're at a specific vendor event. You're not at a Kaseya event. You're not at a ConnectWise event.
That's a good point.
There's a mixture, right? And so it's one of those few events that you get a good mix of people and just getting a really kind of networking stuff. I mean, we have a booth here, but and that's good. People come by, but it's not in my opinion, it's not the event that's going to drive a lot of business for you, and I never will characterize it as such. But it's just a great event. The content's always good, and just the people at this event, pretty much nonstop.
Really?
They're people are engaged, ready to talk, have a good time. I mean, it's just different like that. I would say this is one of those events too. In my opinion, it doesn't really have any clicks. You got a lot of events. You got this click here, this click that's here. Everybody's just kind of. I mean, you got guys that show up to work every day in a suit and tie, and then you have people here that show up to work in shorts and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They all get along great.
That's really not the keynote that just happened. It's more the kind of the luncheon.
That was the luncheon and the announcement of the Member of the Year.
And who was it? I didn't see it.
Matt Lee.
So
everybody's like, yeah, you think, hey, it's a guy you thought, hey, hadn't he won it before? No. So, I mean, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, very good guy.
Yeah, we do a lot of things together. That guy's a machine.
He is. He's been on the podcast. Yeah. He is great. How does Solis help MSPs?
That's a good story. So we used to actually be an MSP. So when we started 23 years ago, we were purely a cybersecurity consultancy for banks, mainly community banks around the country. So even being based in Austin, we have banks everywhere. We had banks in your neck of the woods. We had banks all over the place. In the Northeast and the Southeast, it doesn't matter. And then a lot of our clients we always getting on to them about bad IT decisions. And so they said, hey, we want you to do IT. And we said, nah, that's not really what we do. Finally, we gave in. So about 6 years into our existence, we got into being an MSP. But we always kept those businesses separate. So they were in the same, but we never mixed, right? And it was good because the security guys would always hold the IT guys to account, and that was always nice. Then fast forward to about 2017, we got into incident response. It was through another friend of mine, two guys that owned an MSP in Minneapolis, they got a call from a company that had got popped with ransomware and said, hey, can you guys help them? And we said, yes. So they ended up having cyber insurance with a company called CFC, and they liked how we handled the work. They're like, holy, you guys didn't have to go on site. We said, no, man, we have all these great remote tools. You know, we have our RMN, we had all these pretty mature tools that most IR companies never even heard of before. And they're like, man, you really worked with the business. Most IR companies at that time would just drop some people in, grab some images and drives and get out. No, we're helping them recover. We're telling them they needed to cut payroll. We're walking them through how to manually cut payroll.
Wow.
We had experience with banks, so we knew how all that kind of stuff worked. And they're like, hey, you guys want to do all our cyber claims work for North America? And we said, sure.
Wow.
And not realizing that they were at that time, they still are the largest cyber writer in the U.S. and Canada. So it was a lot of work, came our way. And a year later, they ended up acquiring us. And at that point, they didn't really want the MSP side of the business. So we basically divested that, and that got rolled up into what is Integris today. So it was part of that first roll-up. And so today we're strictly security and IR, but I still stay heavily involved with the MSP side of the business because number one is when we're working incidents, 99% of the time there's an MSP involved.
Sick.
And so it's really important. So I see a lot of what MSPs do right and wrong, and sometimes right, sometimes wrong. And also I just feel like, you know, I still have that connection running an MSP for that period of time, just knowing that I can give a good perspective. I know what they're going through. So it's not like I'm a person that doesn't know how they have to conduct their business, what they got to do to make money. I understand all that, and I can still teach and educate them on here's the things you need to do right. A lot of them, they have challenges selling cyber to their clients, and I'm like, well, you can use me. I can give you horror stories, references, whatever you need to kind of help get those things over the finish line. So yeah, so that's what I do. I love it. I mean, I love the community. I'm at as many events as I can get to. You can't get to all of them because
there's too many.
They're all at the same time,
and they overlap.
Yeah, I mean, there's two of them going on right now.
Is there really?
Yeah. So so that's kind of my story. Yeah.
When MSPs are choosing a cyber partner, what kind of questions should they ask? What should they look for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, number one is they need to understand a cyber partner that understands MSPs. They got to understand their mentality and what they have to do with the stack and how they need to deploy their tools and, you know, how they can't just, they got to have some standards and some structure to what they do, or it's very difficult for them to conduct business. So that's the first thing. A lot of security consultants that are security companies that go to MSPs, they don't understand the pricing models either. And so they don't understand, hey, this is more of a distribution model in a way. So you're going to have to lower your unit costs because the MSP is going to do most of the heavy lifting as far as deployment and support. You're there to handle the security stuff. And then, so to understand that and really to understand what they want from you from a kind of contractual perspective, you know, are they looking for minimums? Are they looking for you to, you know, there's security companies out there that think they can get an MSP to kind of pay for 12 months ahead of time, whereby the MSPs, their customers are only paying them monthly. So they got to live and breathe on the same terms that an MSP. So that's the number one thing. The number two thing is, and I mean, most MSPs work this way, is it's all through networking. So there's a lot of security companies that will come and ask me and say, hey, we think we're going to get into the MSP business. And I'm like, well, do you know anything about it? And they're like, well, no, not really. And I'm like, well, you understand that you can't just show up one day. You might have the coolest thing in the world, but they're not going to touch you. You got to have some credibility. You're going to have to be seen for at least a year.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get some people to adopt you that are going to be good reference clients, and then stuff will start. But you see so many of them will go in, I'll go do one show or maybe two shows. I'm not getting any traction, and they duck out of there. Or they hire people that have no idea about the channel.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Why do you like working with the MSP community?
Well, number one is they are the gateway to the small, medium business. Right. And for me, and that's one thing when we started doing incident response, one of the things that really helped me a lot appreciate incident response is the fact that you get to help these small companies. And these companies really have absolutely no clue when it comes to technology or security. So they're in the dark. So it's much different than when you're working with a larger company that has their own IT and they probably have people working there 10, 15, 20 years sometimes, right? That's a different situation. When you're working with small companies, and when I say their business life, and for a lot of them, their lives are flashing before their eyes because they're down, because of ransomware attack, it feels good to help them. So the MSP is that extension of that, right? So I like working with MSPs because for the most part, they all want to do what's right by the clients. They want to help their clients grow, be better, stay in business, and all those types of things. So I think it's a good match for what kind of my philosophy and for what they do, and just making sure that they do the right thing. Most MSPs want to listen and they want to do the right things. It's just getting the message across to them.
Hey, Joey Pinz here. Want to take your podcast experience to the next level? I'm excited to invite you to become a YouTube member. It's the absolute best way to support the channel and enhance your connection. Join our amazing community and unlock the incredible perks, custom loyalty badges, exclusive emojis, and priority comment replies. Your voice will always stand out. Be the first to watch new videos with early access, receive special membership shoutouts, and get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and updates. Dive into content available only to our members, special videos, deep dives, and insider perspectives. Engage directly with me. Suggest podcast topics you want to hear, and even get personalized video shoutouts. Hit the join button right now and become part of something special. Let's build this amazing community together. I can't wait to welcome you as a new member. Join the Joey Pinz family today.
Sure does. So, I had an MSP I sold in 2019. I still do a lot of consulting with them and, of course, vendors as well. The three things that keep them up at night have been pretty consistent, Chris, within the last 5-6 years. Cybersecurity. They're worried about their clients getting attacked. Now they're flat rate, right? They're probably going to allocate all these resources. They're probably going to get fired. They might even get sued.
Right.
2 is human capital. If their big techs leave, how are they going to replace them? How are they going to get more technicians? The demand on technicians is incredible, especially in the States. It's like 1% IT unemployment, something crazy like that. And last is just growth. They're generally tech-led. They're not good at some of the softer skills. Their friends, PE has poured in hundreds of millions of dollars, so their friends are selling their MSPs and getting a lot of money, so they're concerned about growth. It seems to me you could help in some of those. Well, certainly with one.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, cybersecurity is a big one, right? I mean, I understand it. I mean, I've even talked to people here that they purely are wanting to exit out of the MSP business for that reason alone.
Right.
They're so concerned over that cyber risk to their clients, and they've had clients go through it, and it's just really, really painful. It's horrible. Even if you've done, I was at the Rite of Boom conference a couple of years ago, and a friend of mine, it was the one that was in Dallas. It was the first one, and second one, sorry. First one was in Tampa, and one of my friends was based in the Dallas area, and his client happened to get hit with a ransomware attack while I was there.
Wow.
So we were able to get into his car, and the only time I've ever been able to do that is actually do the initial triage at the customer site.
Wow.
And it wasn't that far from Las Colinas, so it was 10 minutes away maybe. And even with this guy, Sonny, it was his MSP. He's exited since then. But, I mean, he and the owner were there, and the owner was like, well, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And Sonny had all the answers for him. We proposed this to you. We did this. We did that on this date and everything. And Sonny had that covered. It's pretty rare that somebody had all the kind of I's dotted and the T's crossed and all that kind of stuff. But even then, you could still see that, just like you said, there's going to be some reputational hit to you because that is. But I'll be honest with you, and this for all MSPs out there, it's amazing. I see some pretty bad MSPs out there when we work some of these cases.
Really?
And it's amazing who doesn't get fired and who does get fired. So it's kind of a legit. There is no secret sauce or recipe to getting fired or not fired. The getting sued, a few years ago, I would say that just never happened.
Right.
But we're starting to see a little bit more of that now, especially with clients that don't have insurance. I've seen MSPs, especially ones that have law firms, and it doesn't matter what kind of law they practice, they get hit. Those lawyers automatically are going to sue.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's so you have to look at things from that angle. But the cyber, so helping them is, so the cyber side is a lot of work, GTIA is done towards that. I mean, I'm involved in the MSP ISAL, which is information sharing, and one of the goals of our team this year is to get MSPs to get more involved, because the whole concept of that is information sharing amongst MSPs, right? So if I'm an MSP and I see some weird stuff going on in my customer's environment, is that something that I can share with the rest of the MSPs in a productive way so they can use that to protect their clients from not getting hit? So a lot of it's sharing, which I do, try to educate, do podcasts, things of this nature like I'm doing here today to help them understand that. And then, as far as the other thing, and I think most MSPs have come to realize this and have kind of created this as a requirement, is all your clients need to have cyber insurance. If they don't do it, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Because they just can't afford to go through a cyber event. I mean, we do help. MSPs come to us for help for their clients that do get hit that don't have insurance. And I mean, you don't want to be in that situation and you're counting every penny that's going on. You have insurance, you don't have to worry about that. You can go get your business recovered, do all those types of things, know that your insurance policy is covering it, and you're good to go. But when you don't have that policy, these things, man, I mean, these guys, they struggle. And then you're like, hey, look, I mean, it's going to cost you, let's just say on average, $75,000, and probably close to 100 when you throw in an attorney in there, maybe. I mean, a lot of businesses are going to just be like, so, I mean, it's really, I've seen the most successful MSPs kind of draw that hard line in the sand and say, hey, you have cyber or you're no longer a customer of ours.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's, and I think I like to share a lot of the stories and what I see, and see the good, the bad, the ugly, and share that with the MSPs, and that seems to help quite a bit. And I've had a number of MSPs that just have me come. They might be doing a lunch and learn. They might be doing a webinar lunch and learn or whatever, and I'll get on there, and I'm not there to sell Solis and stuff. I'm there just to help them convey those messages to their clients and figure if that all works, the MSPs will come to Solis at the right time.
Just by attrition, yeah. I mean, it's tough to be an MSP now.
It is tough, yet you're needed.
Right, it's essential.
You're essential, right? So it's a lot of the message at the luncheon today was around, AI and how it's changing the lives. So, and you keep hearing that it is tough being an MSP, but the key to success is being able to change, right? I mean, you remember the break fix days, and then you go to the manage days, right? And so you see a lot of the MSPs still with cyber. You see some of them have taken different paths. Some of them have kind of ignored it. A lot of them have adopted it to some degree. It's interesting to see what the $1 million in revenue MSPs do versus the $10 million ones do versus, the larger ones, private equity ones do. But you see some of them embrace it. I talked to an MSP sometime last year that was, even though his clients did not have to comply with CMMC, he decided that was going to be their requirement. Wow. And I was like, keep me up to date how that goes.
How that goes.
So it is difficult, but it's what they signed up to do. So you know what I mean? So you just got to grow. And that's where I think AI is going to help them a lot if they figure out where to focus that stuff on. I mean, if they think they can kind of, I don't know how you want to, they think it just muscle their way through AI, it's not going to work for them. But I'm pretty confident that the MSPs that get this AI thing right and the security people who get this AI thing right on the security side, they're going to come out the big winners.
They'll have a big leg up. I remember like in the 90s and 2000s, we would have clients that didn't want us to do disaster recovery, didn't want us to do full imaging. And so we would make them sign something, say, okay, if something happens, you might not get your data back. I think it's just the same thing now with cyber insurance.
It is, and it's so cheap.
Right.
I mean, for most companies, I think it's like $2,500 a year.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, for just what a policy for most small. It depends on what industry and how much revenue you're in. There's a lot of variables, and I'm not an insurance guy. I'm not a broker. But I mean, it really is.
It's affordable.
It's super affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, when you don't have it, you're going to really know what it's like to feel the pain when you have to deal with all that stuff. And at the same time, I mean, people think I got all these other insurance policies or whatever. Well, a lot of times, if you have the right broker, they're going to navigate you and figure out what's the right policy and the right size, and it's going to be affordable for you. So it's very rare that I've seen a use case where you could say, oh, wow, yeah, that guy definitely can't afford cyber insurance.
Right.
I just don't see it.
You don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they've got so many other insurances. They've got rental insurance. They've got property insurance. They've got. It would seem that it's just a natural add-on.
Yeah, you would think so too. And the industry's grown quite a bit too. So there's, so it's just not that you do have your kind of general cyber policy, but now there's cyber policies that are specifically written for like a general contractor. There's ones written for consultants, right? There's ones written for e-health. So that's the other thing that you can be aware of. And so those policies are specifically tailored to risk in those specific industries. And so they're really good. I know somebody asked me a question. It was an MSP actually about their insurance. They were taking on a much larger client than they typically had taken on in the past. And they're like, wow, this is really going to change our revenue numbers, but we already have an existing insurance policy. What should we do? And I said, well, talk to your broker, because in that particular situation, that's why you want to be educated and lean on your broker to tell you what to do. Because a lot of times you might not need to grow your policy as if all your clients were that size. They can create basically, for a better term, an addendum or a rider just for that one client. So your premium is still going to stay pretty low. You might have a small chunk. So if you tried to increase your entire policy as if all your clients were that size, yeah, it's going to be astronomical.
Wow.
But if you just put a rider that says, okay, look, if we have a tech E&O policy and just this one client gets hit, this bigger amount's going to kick in. Anybody else, a smaller amount's going to kick in.
I see.
So you can
It's
do some things like that.
Yeah, you can change it around.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I started the MSP in the 90s. I sold it in 2019. And when I started, Chris, I was working way too hard, 14, 16-hour days. You're no stranger to this. Yeah. And I was putting my health in the back seat. I slowed down playing soccer and doing exercise. I'm at the doctor. She tells me I'm at 340 pounds. I had gained all of this weight, barely even recognize it. She says to me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born. Scared the hell out of me. I'm driving home, pissed off. This is my pie hole. I did this. Spent the next 6-7 months, lost about 120 pounds, and kept it off. It's like lifelong changes, right? These aren't just temporary. When I tell people the story, they always say, what's your secret, what you do? And there's no secret. Chris, discipline. That's how. Focus, motivation, willpower. How does discipline play a role in your life?
Yeah. On that note, discipline is super key. So I mentioned earlier, I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
You got to stay pretty disciplined in the things that you do from a parental perspective with your time and what you do and allocation wise. You don't want to get in a situation where, you're totally ignoring them and you're focusing so much on the work. So there's a balance of that, doing what's right by them. There's a lot of that stuff. How your spouse plays a part in that is incredibly important, right? You got to figure out, hey, we got to be parents, we got to work, we still got to be a loving married couple that support one another. So that's incredibly important. And obviously, religion plays a big part in our lives as well. So you have to be disciplined on that as well. So, there's so many things that you got to do, and you got to be aware of it. So that's what I do. The health stuff is pretty interesting. I was not in a situation with you had, but what happened to me a few years ago is because I wasn't playing soccer as much anymore, just because schedule wasn't allowing it. A lot of times I was traveling with my kids for soccer and not having the time to commit to playing myself. I just started to run a lot. All of a sudden one time, and it was kind of right at the tail end of COVID, I couldn't run 20 yards and I was out of breath.
Whoa.
Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. Went to see the doctors. First, I just went to see my primary care guy. He looked at everything, didn't see anything wrong. Thought it may be some post-COVID things or long COVID type situation or whatever. They didn't really kind of jive with me. But long story short is I ended up, my LAD, your widowmaker artery, it was almost completely clogged up. And so it wasn't until I did a CT scan and saw the right cardiologist to figure that out. Immediately I was pretty much I was booked a few days later, and I had a stent inserted into my body. And so, my message here is be extremely disciplined.
Yeah.
But what I tell people that are extremely healthy, especially younger people, and I'm like, if you have a history of stuff going on in your family, which I did on both my mom and my dad's side, my grandparents on my mom's side, both died in their 40s from heart-related stuff. So you can't escape that. You can eat right, you can exercise all the time, but that's what my doctor's like, look, there's nothing in what you were doing lifestyle-wise that we had an issue with.
Red flags,
You can't get rid of that, right? So you got to stay disciplined. So that's the other thing is sometimes people will be too disciplined and have their blinders on, and not look at the other stuff. And health's a big one of it. I mean, your doctor was right by telling you that. But
she knew how to motivate me. Yeah.
But it's not like when you dropped all that weight, you're like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to see a doctor anymore.
No. Lifelong changes. Yeah. What was it? 90% of people gain the weight back, something like that. It's a crazy amount, right?
It is,
yeah.
It is. I mean, I see some guys. I mean, I saw somebody last year and dropped just a tremendous amount of weight, and he says no. He goes, meat only and water. And I'm like, man, that's incredible discipline,
yes.
Right? And he was committed. That's just to see. I have faith that he will continue.
Wow.
But I mean, to continue that and to keep that up,
that's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, you're gonna eventually want some broccoli or something.
That was it. I was like, meat and water.
Right.
I want something else to drink in there, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, generally it's just like 80-20, right? 80% of the time I'm eating correctly, and I have pizza the other, once a week or so. It's like it's hard to live that kind of lifestyle. And I guess the same kind of hygiene goes with security too, right? Protecting yourself and your clients. Just got to follow best practices and great tools and great partners.
And fundamentals. It's fundamentals. There's
yeah.
nothing fancy about it. You don't need some super shiny object. You just need to do the right thing. What I tell most people is they do a terrible job is with data. They just keep too much. I mean, you just go, how many pieces of mail you got in your inbox? Well, I got 40,000. That's way too many. I mean, that's a gold mine.
Right.
And just think on their servers or whether it's SharePoint or Dropbox. I mean, we had a situation recently where a woman, her work laptop was compromised at the house. And she was syncing down everything from SharePoint and OneDrive.
Whoa.
And that's all the attack. The attacker didn't go anywhere. They just took everything from her machine. And so no one could believe it. It sounds like some big sophisticated thing, but it's a simple deal. You probably they need to have a policy in place where there's probably no reason for her to sync that stuff down, to be honest, and no need to sync that amount of stuff. And even if you went one step further and said, okay, what the heck is all in that stuff? 80% of that data is probably not even needed anymore. There's no regulatory legal reason to keep it around. And so that's what really bites people. It's just so again, it's the fundamentals. Secure your stuff and then get rid of the stuff you don't need. You can follow those two rules, probably be in pretty good shape.
Pretty good shape, yeah. With health, generally, I think 3 pillars are sleep, nutrition, and exercise.
No,
pretty good fundamentals.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in sleep. You hear people say, hey, look, 4 hours is all you need or whatever. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe once in a while
when you have
for whatever
to.
reason. Yeah, but not.
Maybe when you're a little younger. Right. But as time goes on.
Not gonna
your
happen.
Body's telling you to get a little more sleep. Do what your body tells you to do.
Yes.
No, I agree. And the nutrition thing, you're seeing a big swing in a good way with nutrition.
You are.
Yeah.
Especially here.
Yeah, especially here.
In the
in
States.
a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah.
I mean, I can attest to it. I have my wife and my oldest daughter both have a gluten intolerance. But you hear people, they go over to Europe, the tolerance goes away.
Yes.
There's a reason for that.
It's what we're putting in.
Yeah, it's what we're putting in and what we're doing with the food that we're making the food out of.
Yes.
So, so I'm glad to see that. So I think it's going to take some time. But
it is. And so people got to be aware of it. Yeah. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Anybody watching, listening, how can they get in touch with you?
Easy way to get in touch with me. LinkedIn, Chris Loehr, ChrisLoehr. That's probably the quickest way. Website is Solis Security, and Solis is spelled like Solis, Solis, security.com.
Very cool.
But people call me all the time for even just a question about something. I make myself available all the time.
Very cool. Chris, thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.